She moves around, she does pop her feet at this point, and she, because she's stacked full of fury at this point, casts Eruption of Life on two of the Zealots out in the field, creating defensive forests to block the enemy jacks, and because there's still one activation left to go from the Bloodtrackers, she'll be able to get some fury back to potentially transfer with. So next image, the Bloodtrackers activate second to last. We've still only got the Wolves to go, and they move in. I actually charged with a few of these models. Then Mark pointed out that they've got defense, they're set defense, so the rest of them just moved in normally and went for the attack. I needed quite good dice to actually kill these guys, considering their feet was up, their mini feet, I should say. But I still managed to pick off 2 or 3 of them, which was enough to trigger Eruption of Life and kill 1 or 2 more. And Morvahna, of course, got the fury she needed to stay safe against any arc spells in the next turn. Next image, the Wolfriders can't damage the Zealots at this point because they are immune to everything but spells and feats, but I did move into melee range with them so that he can't obviously run away and throw bombs because the Wolfriders are engaging them and will get free strikes. But you can see those white circles out in the battlefield there. They are forests thanks to the feat and Eruption of Life spells, so looking pretty safe against enemy jacks for another round. Next image, this is where Morvahna's ended up. She's got 4 fury points by the looks and 2 upkeeps in play. I haven't been using the one that gives +2 armor and the healing to Morvahna this game. I think it's called Regrowth. No, it's Regrowth is the unit one. It's called Restoration or something like that, Bountiful Restoration, something like that, but she has not been using that. Next image, the Blessing of Vengeance also has vision on it, an upkeep spell, has moved through the forest. He's run over here, so he's not doing any actions. He's also, I think, maybe engaged the Gorax, can't quite remember, but pSeverius now uses some spells to arc through the Blessing to try and take out Morvahna. The real plan here from Mark was to try and set Morvahna on fire, because I don't think she can transfer continuous effects. However, he didn't get the roll that he needed to set her on fire. It wasn't a critical, and Morvahna managed to transfer the damage away, so that hurt the Stalker very badly, but Morvahna, importantly, is up and running. Next image, he moves around with his jacks as much as he possible around the back, but they can't really do too much due to the forest in the way. Stalker is on fire, thanks to being shot at by the Vanquisher, I think, or maybe their transfer, I can't remember what happened there. And next image, his Zealots. I don't know what's happened with these guys, but this may well be my following turn, actually. Yes, it is my following turn, because he wasn't able to do much thanks to the forests. The Wolfriders have moved around, basically taking shots at what they can, and killing and actually moving into melee range with the Vanquisher as well, which they have prayed. Just mind you, the Bloodtrackers have got that played target on the Flameguard, fortunately. Next photo shows you where the Bloodtrackers have ended up. I'm still battling away against 3 Flameguard members, but moving out to try and pick off some choir crew, and one of them dying to a Stalker hit. Now, you guys, I know you guys love correcting me. That's like your favorite thing to do as YouTube viewers. But one thing that I wasn't sure of, but I checked, was that when it's your control phase, you first leech fury, then you upkeep spells, then you resolve things like Warbeast going frenzy, and then you resolve anything else that needs to be done in the control phase, which I assume is when you bring back the regrowth models. So the way I played it is that the Stalker cut down a Bloodtracker, then Morvahna was able to bring her back conveniently with her spell. So that's another benefit of having Morvahna. Next image, this is basically one we've seen before, but Morvahna has moved into the stones, which have then teleported all the way back into the forest, so she's deep in the forest with 1 fury, or maybe even 2 fury at this point, spare, and this is to stop the enemy from shooting at her or arcing spells at her, so hopefully this works, because otherwise, he'll have a chance to get back in the game. At this point, I've got a commanding lead. Next image, looking at an overview here, he's got 2, 3 jacks. There's all his jacks. He's got his choir, but he's got no infantry left. He's got his Hierophant and 1 Wrack. He's also got a mechanic, but that's about it. I've got everything left in my army alive. I've lost Nuala, but that's around about it at this point. Next image, what he decides to do is run with the Blessing of Vengeance, hopefully Blessing of Judgment, Blessing of Vengeance. He runs around the Woldwarden, takes a free strike from the Warden and the Wolfrider, and runs so far that he comes within 3 inches of Morvahna, which is didn't actually think he could pull off that move, but he had enough movement to do it, and because he had vision up kept on him, he was able to take no damage from the free strike, so even better for him. And going to the next photo, Pseverius moves out, and we measured his control range 16. He moves a further inch or whatever it is and gets the arc node within range, and then he can go for it. So quite annoying, but luckily with Morvahna being defense 15 in a wood and having some fury for transfers, she managed to survive the worst of his attacks, and again did not get set on fire, so I've been lucky there. Next image, there's a Jack in melee range of this Wolfrider, but if you go to the next photo, what he does is he just takes the free strike and moves around, shoots his gun at whatever he can, but fortunately for me the gun misses. He didn't have many targets to shoot it at though, because everything's very high defense in forest and so forth, and the AoE with the clip didn't really do enough. Although, you know, you can still set stuff on fire with that gun as well, but he's been unlucky with the criticals. Well, actually, it doesn't. I don't think he requires criticals with a Vanquisher's gun. I've got to go back and reread it, but you need to, I think, directly hit to get all the damage done. Next image, he's got his Crusader, which was facing the wrong direction to charge. He's moved around over here and just really isn't doing very much. So I sort of feel sorry for this Crusader. He hasn't seen much action this game, and by the time he does see action, it's probably going to be the business end of the Stalker's greatsword. Next image, the Woldwarden moves into the forest and headbutts the little arc node vessel here and knocks him to the ground. Next image, the Gorax moves over and starts wailing on him, so smashing at him. And importantly, the photo after that, actually, with... no, I haven't quite done this yet. Sorry, I've got ahead of myself. If we go to the next photo, sorry, the Wolfrider moves up and assaults the choir member and the Hierophant, so taking both of them out and using his light cav movement to go over to Pseverius to put him in mortal danger. Next image, the Bloodtrackers have wiped out the Flameguard at this point, so they move up and just lay down a withering hail of fire onto the choir members, killing them. He's put an ability on the Jacks, meaning I can't sort of target them with ranged spells, so the first objective there is to take out the choir and then move on to the Jacks, or just as Warcast or whatever. Next image, the Stalker moves out and trashes the Vanquisher, so finally got rid of that annoying gun, and fortunately did not need to use Primal at this point, so the next target's going to be the Vanquisher. He's already taken some damage from, I think, one sword attack, but not quite killed him yet. So here's the photo I was meaning to talk about, but Morvahna did not activate until later. She starts her activation with 7 Fury and just goes ahead and lays into the Vessel of Judgment or whatever it was, and gets Harrow on him. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Morvahna, her sword has an ability where if you damage an enemy model, it suffers Harrow for 1 round, and during that round, if Morvahna is damaged, she's allowed to transfer that damage to the model affected by Harrow. Bit of a rules question that we found quite interesting, that I sort of noticed on the Circle forums recently, were people wondering whether you actually have to spend a Fury point to transfer. In this game we play that yes, you do have to transfer with a Fury point, but there are some people who think you don't, so a bit of an unanswered question there, but either way, Morvahna has plenty of Fury left at this turn to do that with, and that means if the Jack stands back up and smashes her, he's going to die instead of her, which is very, very convenient. Same with arcing spells. Even if he moves all the way out of the melee range and takes 3 free strikes and then arcs spells from Pseverius, any spell damage onto Morvahna is just going to be transferred back to poor old Jack, so I've got him where I want him here. Next image, what he does is he turns around and he smacks the Gorax with his shield and then lashes out at Morvahna anyway with his sword, and doesn't really do enough damage, rather low roll, so didn't really merit the use of Harrow. I thought I'd save that for later in case something else happened, but just playing conservatively, really I should have just transferred it because there was nothing else he could have done. Next image, the Wolfriders are now attacking Pseverius, and somehow, due to low rolls or whatever, I just didn't manage to kill him. So Pseverius is standing there, he's taken about 1/3 of his health, but has luckily been able to avoid the worst of the Wolfriders, even though they have preyed on him. Next image, the battlefield looks like this. I've moved in with my Bloodtrackers as well into his caster. The vessel is knocked to the floor again with the Woldwarden, and the Stalker basically cuts down the Crusader, and that's basically game over. But he didn't decide to give up at this point. If you go to the next photo, there's still a combat raging on between the Vanquisher, sorry, not the Vanquisher, the Vessel of Judgment or whatever it is called, against Morvahna. This time he does get up and tries to lash at her foolishly, and I do harrow him in the second time and kill him, which gets rid of him permanently. Up on the hill, Severius has cast Ashes to Ashes and wiped out nearly everybody. He's been rolling really luckily with that spell, but the Stalker has moved up into the hill, and he'll be going in if the Bloodtrackers and Wolfriders fail on their target. Next photo, Severius, just feeling like being a clown, charges the Stalker, and because the Stalker was nearly dead due to all sorts of flame damage going off on him turn after turn, Severius somehow managed to kill him. So this game's turning into a crazy one, with me actually losing all of my Bloodtrackers, all of my Wolfriders to his stupid spells, and then the Stalker dying as well. So next photo, I move out with my remaining 3 models. The Woldwarden tries to cast Eruption of Life on him and misses. The Gorax can't get in range of him, and the job is left to Morvahna, who moves out of the forest, casts 1 Eruption of Life on him, bursts it, and kills him. So it would have been a bit embarrassing if I'd lost at this point, but still fun that we played it to the end. Hope you guys enjoyed it.